Another big-name candidate has emerged in the Longhorns' pursuit for a new running backs coach. This one would be a home run hire. I'll tell you who it is next on Locked On Longhorns. Intro.
You are Locked On Longhorns, your daily podcast on the Texas Longhorns. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're locked on to the Texas Longhorns, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now the number one sports podcast network. I'm your host, BK, Brad Kellner, Texas grad, Austin local, and longtime sports radio host here in the Lone Star State. Thank you for making Locked On Longhorns a part of your day every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com to place your NFL live bets all season long. I'm sure you all know by now, but yesterday it was announced that Texas had parted ways with running backs coach Chad Scott. Yesterday, we released a short episode profiling Jabbar Jalouk, the now former Florida running backs coach who quickly became linked to the opening in Austin. I mentioned that I would be very much in favor of Jalouk being the guy, especially if second-team All-SEC running back Jaden Ball was going to follow him from Florida. Big if. But I'm a fan of Jalouk regardless of if Ball is in the mix. That was yesterday's profile. Today, a short episode taking a look at another potential candidate who is being linked to Texas. And this one, man, you talk about a big get. Steve Sarkisian would be reeling in a 2,000-pound blue marlin if he's able to get this one. LSU interim head coach Frank Wilson. He could be without a job in the not-too-distant future. We know he'll no longer be the head coach at LSU because the Tigers hired Lane Kiffin. Wilson was LSU's running back coach and associate head coach before Brian Kelly got fired midway through the season. When that happened, he took over as the interim, and he will get to remain his team's acting head coach for LSU's upcoming bowl game, the Texas Bowl in Houston, at the end of the month. After that, obviously, Kiffin will take over. And we're not entirely sure, no one's entirely sure what the future holds for Frank Wilson beyond the Texas Bowl on December 27th. I know a lot of LSU fans are hoping that Lane Kiffin keeps Frank Wilson on staff in some capacity, but as of now, there's been no official announcement of that actually happening. Kiffin is bringing a number of offensive assistants with him from Ole Miss. As of now, I don't think his running back coach is coming. We will see if that changes. Maybe Lane Kiffin decides to bring somebody else in. From what I've heard, it doesn't sound like there's been a lot of conversation between those two sides, Kiffin and Wilson, which means there is a very good chance that Wilson won't be retained, which obviously opens the door for Texas to have a shot. A little background on Frank Wilson and why I'm so excited about the potential of him coming to Austin. We'll start with Frank Wilson, the recruiter, before we get to Frank Wilson, the running backs coach. Wilson may be the most successful recruiter in Louisiana history, and I mean that. And it helps that he has so many connections throughout the state. He's from Louisiana, went to college there. He was the head coach at a couple of different high schools before he moved up to the college ranks. He spent 2 different stints at LSU, one with Les Miles last decade, and obviously this stint with Brian Kelly. I mean, just listen to some of these names that he was able to land as the lead recruiter at LSU. Linebacker, Devin White. Safety, Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. Running back, Leonard Fournette. Wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. Wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. Running back, Darius Geis. Offensive lineman, Lael Collins. Linebacker, Harold Perkins. Linebacker, Deion Jones. He just helped LSU sign Lamar Brown, who was the number 2 ranked player in America for this 2026 class. The list goes on and on. We could spend 10, 15, 20 minutes just talking about the big name players that Frank Wilson is credited to have recruited to LSU. He is a big-time recruiter, one of the best in America, and has been for a very, very long time. Another interesting name that Wilson recruited during his first stint in Baton Rouge, Brandon Harris, the former LSU quarterback who is now the general manager on Steve Sarkisian's staff at Texas. There's a connection that could help the Longhorns' chances. Wilson recruited Harris. Now Harris could be recruiting Wilson. It's the recruiting circle of life, if you will. This guy is an elite recruiter. He's got deep ties to Louisiana, but also throughout the entire SEC. And really, it's hard to put into words how much of an upgrade he would be from a recruiting standpoint over what Texas just had with Chad Scott. You want more proof? Wilson has been named National Recruiter of the Year by Rivals twice. And both times happened before NIL. So it wasn't just, LSU was money whipping these recruits and Frank Wilson's the running back coach, so we're going to give him credit. No, this is pre-NIL. This is Frank Wilson just going out and getting all of these big name players and a lot of them developing into NFL stars as well. But two-time National Recruiter of the Year, the recruiting chops are legit. And the on-field results have been pretty good too, right? That's the other half of the battle. Overall, Wilson has coached or recruited 47 people who have gone on to play in the NFL. In 9 seasons at LSU across both of those stints, Wilson developed 7 running backs that were selected in the NFL draft. They were developed too, including a couple of first-team All-SECers, Leonard Fournette, Jeremy Hill, Stephen Ridley, all first-team All-SEC, while Wilson was the running backs coach at LSU. In 9 years as LSU's running backs coach, Wilson's backfield has produced 4 1,000-yard rushers. He's had 51 100-yard individual rushing performances, and his team has broke the 200-yard rushing mark as a team 54 times under his guidance. So the on-field results have been very, very good. Les Miles had some great offenses, especially on the ground. Brian Kelly a couple of years ago had some great offenses. Obviously, things fell apart for both of those guys towards the end of their tenures, which is why LSU moved on. But the Tigers have had a ton of great running backs, and Frank Wilson has been the biggest reason why. I keep talking about LSU. All of his coaching experience is not at LSU. He's been a head coach at UTSA, yes, that UTSA, and also McNeese as well. On top of that, he has assistant coaching experience at Ole Miss and Tennessee, so plenty of SEC background and plenty of SEC success. He checks all the boxes: recruiting, on-field development, SEC ties. This is the type of guy that you should want if you are a Texas fan. I would be a huge fan of this hire. And it sounds like if Wilson isn't retained by LSU, the Longhorns have a really good chance here. Pete Nakos of On3 mentioned Wilson as one of 4 names to watch for the Texas running backs coach hire. For what it's worth, Wilson was the first name on the list. I don't know if it was in any particular order, but I did find that interesting that Wilson's name was number 1. If we don't see Steve Sarkisian make a hire between now and the Texas Bowl that LSU is playing in on December 27th, that could be a good sign that Wilson is the guy. Now, Texas isn't going to wait until then to make contact. They are going to reach out to Wilson's people to see if he's interested, and if he is, conversations will continue. I don't think Wilson's going to leave early and bail on his LSU team. He's been very loyal to that squad. He's been very loyal to that school. I don't think he's going to leave before the bowl game, even if Texas does hire him. But right after that, December 28th, again, if Sark hasn't made up his mind yet and there's no official decision yet, could be a very good sign that Wilson could be on his way to the ATX. If that doesn't happen, then it's on to the next candidate. But I'll say it one more time. I'd be very much in favor of Frank Wilson coming to Texas. I like Jabbar Jalouk. Honestly, I think Jabbar Jalouk is the more likely of the two to get this job, and I'd be very happy with that hire. I mean, both of these candidates are instant upgrades over Chad Scott. Instant upgrades from a recruiting standpoint, from a development standpoint, from everything. Chad Scott was kind of an outside-the-box hire. Nobody really knew who he was coming in from West Virginia. A lot of Texas recruits in this past cycle kind of had the who reaction after the hire was made. You went from Tashard Choice, who was one of the most well-known running backs coaches in the sport, to Chad Scott. And a lot of Longhorn fans also had that similar reaction, like, who did we just hire? You don't have to worry about that with Jabbar Jalouk. You don't have to worry about that with Frank Wilson. Those guys both in their 50s, both really well respected, and they both have a lot of skins on the wall. Either one of those guys, I think, would immediately help turn around what was the worst rushing offense for Texas in 81 years. What say you? If you're watching on YouTube, would love to get your thoughts in the comments below. Frank Wilson or Jabbar Jalouk, maybe somebody else. Would also love to get y'all's thoughts and requests on who I should profile next. A couple of other candidates are starting to enter the fold, at least according to reports. Got a couple of ideas in mind, but obviously would love to hear from y'all in terms of who you think should be the next running backs coach at the University of Texas. All right, that'll do it for today. If you made it this far, number one, God bless you. Number two, please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, rate 5 stars, all of those great things. Can't thank y'all enough for your continued support of Locked On Longhorns. More of this conversation and an update to our transfer portal big board coming up on tomorrow morning's show. But that'll do it for this one. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, horns up, mic's off. We'll see y'all soon. This is Locked On Longhorns. Oh, but first, a quick shout out to my friends at Doer. I'm wearing my Doer jeans right now. Boom. There's the proof. If you're tuned in on YouTube, these are the most comfortable pair of pants that I own. Not just jeans, like the most comfortable pair of pants that I own are my Doer jeans. I love them. And the best part, they look great. They're jeans. They look like jeans. It's that classic jeans wear style that never goes out of style, but I get the comfort and performance of athletic pants. It's the best of both worlds. I don't think anyone's been able to do this before. Doer found a way to make a pair of pants look good that you could dress up, but also feel good too. I just went for a walk a couple of minutes ago in these pants, no problem at all. They are so comfortable. I'm telling y'all, once you try these, they will become your go-to pair of pants as well. Get a gift for yourself or for somebody else. I'm telling you, perfect to wear for the holiday season. If you're in Austin, shop your local REI store and check out Doer jeans. If you want to shop online, shopdoer.com/lockedonlonghorns for 15% off your first order. That's shopdoer.com/lockedonlonghorns for 15% off your first order. One more time, shopdoer.com/lockedonlonghorns.